This is PSN Newsrun, streaming exclusively on YouTube.
Our top stories. Nigeria secures landmark $747 million syndicated loan for the Lagos Calabar Coastal Highway project. And Senate declares emergency after devastating consequences from cybercrime fraud. And now, the news in details. Nigeria has secured a landmark $747 million syndicated loan for the Lagos Calabar Coastal Highway project. The deal, led by Deutsche Bank, backed by other international lenders, is the largest in Nigeria's history. Teza shares more details.
Nigeria has secured a landmark $747 million syndicated loan to finance the first phase of its ambitious Lagos Calabar Coastal Highway project. The deal, led by Deutsche Bank and backed by other international lenders, is the largest road infrastructure loan in the country's history. The funds will be used to complete a 47-kilometer stretch of the proposed 700-kilometer coastal highway, which is expected to link Lagos in the southwest to Calabar in the south-south over the next 8 years. The government describes the highway as a strategic infrastructure that will boost interstate commerce, improve tourism access along the coast, and create thousands of construction and service-related jobs. When completed, the highway is expected to ease pressure on Nigeria's aging inland road network and significantly reduce travel time across coastal cities. But while the project promises long-term benefits, there are concerns. Experts have raised questions about the loan's repayment terms and potential debt burden, especially as Nigeria grapples with rising external debt and revenue shortfalls. Environmental activists have also warned that parts of the highway's route could disrupt coastal ecosystems and displace vulnerable communities. Despite the controversy, authorities say the project aligns with President Bola Tinubu's renewed hope infrastructure agenda, and they assure Nigerians of full transparency in its implementation. The High Line's first phase is already under construction, with timelines tightly linked to the release of this $747 million funding. Teza Phillips, PS News.
In a major policy shift, the United States government has reduced validity for non-immigrant visas for Nigerian citizens. Joycelyn has the full scoop.
It's now tougher for Nigerians to visit the United States. In a major policy shift, the U.S. government has reduced the validity of non-immigrant visas for Nigerian citizens from a multi-entry 5-year option to a 3-month single-entry visa. This means that Nigerians who once had the convenience of multiple U.S. visits over several years will now need to apply for a fresh visa anytime they travel within just a 90-day window. The Nigerian government has strongly criticized the move, describing it as lacking diplomatic reciprocity, since U.S. citizens still enjoy more flexible entry terms into Nigeria. For ordinary Nigerians, the new restriction spells higher cost, more paperwork, and longer wait times for approvals. Business travelers, students, medical tourists, and families who frequently travel between both countries will bear the brunt, with many now reconsidering travel plans altogether. Analysts warn that the policy could impact bilateral trade, educational exchange, and even remittance inflows, as fewer Nigerians are likely to make repeat visits to the US. It also deepens perceptions of inequality in global mobility and may strain already delicate diplomatic ties. The US has not publicly offered a detailed explanation for the change, but critics say it reflects broader immigration tightening and could set a precedent for more countries to adopt similar restrictions. For now, affected Nigerians are left with rising uncertainty and a clear message: visiting the US just got a lot more difficult. Reporting for PS News, I am Joycelyn Ella Keche Ada.
The collapse of crypto bridge exchange CBEX has sent shockwaves through Nigeria's financial sector, with millions of citizens losing their life savings. The Senate is calling it one of the worst financial frauds in the nation's history. Marian has the report.
The collapse of crypto bridge exchange, or CBEX, has rocked the nation's financial space, with millions of Nigerians losing their life savings in what the Senate now calls one of the worst financial frauds in Nigerians' history. In response, the Senate has declared a national emergency, launching a full-scale investigation into the waves of Ponzi-style investment scheme sweeping the country. The CBEX scandal has reignited memories of past scams like MMM and MBA Forex, but on a much larger scale. Leading the motion, Senator Tokunbo Abiru revealed that CBEX has exploited regulatory loopholes, operating without proper oversight from key financial watchdogs like the Central Bank of Nigeria, SEC, EFCC, and NFIU. Abiru warned that this isn't an isolated case. He said it's a disturbing pattern. Nigerians are being robbed over and over again. Lawmakers didn't hold back. Senator Tahir Monguno called it alarming, urging striker laws and full prosecution. Senator Sadiq Umar accused regulators of being asleep while unlicensed fintech firms run wild. He said people trusted the system and it failed them. Even Senate President Godswill Akpabio shared a personal stink, recalling how he once lost money in a Ponzi scheme in the 1990s. He said this trend is now worse and that families are shattered, lives are lost, and the government cannot sit back. The Senate is forming a joint investigative panel across 4 committees: capital markets, banking, anti-corruption, and ICT, tasked with holding public hearing and submitting findings in 4 weeks. The goal: to expose crack, punish offenders, and rebuild public trust in Nigerians' financial system before another scam strikes. Marian Awia, PS News.
And still on financial crimes, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has announced a hardline policy stating that foreigners convicted of cybercrime in Nigeria will be deported immediately after serving their jail terms. Joycelyn shares more details.
At Abuja's National Cybersecurity Conference, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission announced a hardline policy. Foreigners convicted of cybercrime in Nigeria will be deported immediately after serving their jail terms. In the past 18 months alone, the EFCC has convicted over 140 foreign nationals, including individuals from Russia, China, and the Philippines, and neighboring West African countries for offenses ranging from bank hacks and ransomware attacks to large-scale identity theft. Investigations reveal that many of these cyber criminals set up temporary bases in cities like Lagos and Abuja, operating phishing firms and crypto fraud rings in collaboration with local partners. Under the new rule, deportation will follow prison time with no chance of resettlement. Officials say the goal is to deter cybercrime terrorism, restore Nigeria's damaged digital reputation, and close the door on transnational e-fraud networks using the country as a base. The EFCC also announced plans to expand global partnership with agencies like the FBI and Interpol, aiming to track re-entry attempts and fast-track extraditions. Meanwhile, amendments to the Cybercrime Act are underway, including proposals for electronic asset seizure and lifetime entry bans for repeat offenders. A 500-seat cybersecurity response center is also being developed to boost detection and response times. Foreign hackers who once saw Nigeria as easy ground now face a triple threat: prison, property seizure, and permanent expulsion. Joycelyn Ella Keche Ada, PS News.
OpenAI is preparing to launch an AI-powered web browser that could reshape how people interact with the internet and potentially shake Google's dominance. Ella is on the international desk.
OpenAI is preparing to launch an AI-powered web browser that could reshape how people interact with the internet and potentially shake Google's dominance. The browser is built around the ChatGPT experience, offering users a chat-first interface that handles tasks like searching, summarizing web pages, filling forms, and even booking services, all within a single intelligent window. Unlike traditional browsers that rely on users clicking through multiple tabs, this new AI-native browser streamlines the process, acting more like a visual assistant than a search tool. This move directly challenges Google Chrome, which holds a significant share of the global browser market and plays a key role in Alphabet's ad revenue machine. With OpenAI already boasting around 500 million weekly ChatGPT users, even a partial migration could threaten Google's data advantage. The browser isn't a standalone play. OpenAI recently acquired I.O., an AI hardware company led by former Apple designer Johnny Ive. Analysts suggest this could lead to seamless integration between OpenAI's upcoming device and its browser, bringing AI into both desktops and mobile lives. If successful, OpenAI's browser could mark a major shift in how users interact with the web, putting AI at the center of everyday browsing. Ella Okechukwu, PS News.
And now to sports. Ancelotti sentenced for tax fraud. Sina declares readiness for Djokovic as PSG stuns Madrid, and Arsenal bids for Madueke. Let's join Sam for the latest on sports.
From the sport decks, we're starting in Spain. Brazil manager Carlo Ancelotti has been handed a one-year prison sentence for tax fraud. Tied to his time at Real Madrid in 2014, he was found guilty of hiding over £833,000 in image rights income, although he blames the error on his accountant. Ancelotti won't likely serve jail term, though Spanish law allows sentences under 2 years for first-time non-violent offenders to be suspended. Over to tennis. World number 1, Jannik Sinner, says he will be 100% fit for this Wimbledon semi-final against Novak Djokovic on Friday. Despite an elbow injury sustained earlier in the week, Sinner, who was strapping during his quarter-final win, has won his last 4 meetings with Djokovic, including a French Open semi-final just weeks ago. But Djokovic has the Wimbledon edge, having beaten Sinner in their last 2 meetings at Wimbledon. To the Club World Cup, where Paris Saint-Germain stunned Real Madrid 4-0 to book a spot in the final against Chelsea. Goals from Ousmane Dembele and Fabian Ruiz helped PSG dominate from the first whistle, exposing a shaky Real Madrid backline. It also marked the final game for Luka Modric in a Real Madrid shirt just 25 minutes into the game. After the Club World Cup, Luka Modric would head to AC Milan on a confirmed one-year deal valid until June 2026, and now to Chelsea. Transfer. Mohamed Kudus is set for a medical at Tottenham today. The £55 million deal with West Ham is agreed and spread over 3 years. And Arsenal have made a £50 million bid for Chelsea non-name Madueke, but the Blues want more in guaranteed fee. Talks ongoing, and Madueke has already agreed personal term. That's it from the Sport Decks. I'm Samuel Akpan, reporting for PS News.
You just watched PSN Newsrun, streaming exclusively on YouTube. This is your trusted voice for news that matters. Subscribe, like, share, and stay informed.